stand up for justice, say yes, BDS.
Very few things in this world befuddle me as much as the American LGBT community teaming up with Islamist organizations such as the Students for Justice in Palestine and Islamist individuals like Linda Sarsour in the anti-Semitic BDS movement targeting Israel. The BDS movement is anti-Semitic, ineffective, and quite frankly, idiotic, being it harms the people it's supposed to be helping.
I do not support this boycott. It's not good because the workers were Arabs and there will be no jobs.
Why is the BDS movement anti-Semitic? Because there are many, many other countries with much, much worse violations of human rights, yet it only targets the only Jewish state. By definition, that is anti-Semitic. So there's been a few stories in the news lately, and then a third story that kind of debunks the first two. Recently, at the National LGBTQ Task Force in Detroit, Michigan, a group of protesters took the stage where they accused Israel of being an apartheid state, occupiers, the normal slanderous things, and then they finished it with,
"Hopefully one day, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free."
which is a call for the destruction of Israel as a Jewish state.
I'm not your toy, not your toy, you stupid boy.
That's Netta Barzilai. Netta won last year's version of Eurovision. Eurovision, for my American friends, it is the longest running televised music contest in the world. It's been around since the 1950s. The way Eurovision works is this year's competition is determined by the country of origin of last year's winner. So the competition should have been held in Jerusalem. But that's just way too controversial to have it in Israel's actual capital. So to appease the Israel haters, it was moved to Tel Aviv. But that's still not enough for the BDS crowd. There's a group of several dozen British cultural icons that have signed on to a letter asking for the BBC to move Eurovision completely out of Israel. And undoubtedly, of those signatories, several of those are also gay. Well, thankfully the BBC did not agree to do that. Now, here's a third story that kind of delegitimizes the LGBT community and these British BDS backers. France's entrance into the competition is a 19-year-old gay Muslim named Bilal Hassan.
You will never remove my crown.
And when interviewed, Bilal said he couldn't wait to go see Tel Aviv because he'd heard so many great things about it. You want to know why? Because homosexuals throughout the entire Middle East seek refuge, seek asylum in Israel. Why? Because homosexuality is not accepted in the Muslim culture. Recently, a man was hung publicly in Iran. In Saudi Arabia, they'll chop your heads off. In the Gaza Strip, they'll pull you behind a motorcycle down the street until you're dead. Bilal Hassan, the French Muslim gay entrant, had multiple death threats, and that was before he was brave enough to say that he was actually looking forward to visiting Tel Aviv, and that only brought more death threats to him. LGBT community, I'm a little curious how you can justify your anti-Israel position. Don't you find it the least bit ironic that you're teaming up with people against Israel that if you lived under their rule would chop your heads off?
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.